Yep, my name is Shawnee Carver. I am Director of Relocation and Transaction Services here at Coldwell Banker Distinctive Properties. I'm super excited to present to you guys today on what I truly believe exceptional service is. So thank you, Carrie. I'm going to start off with our mission statement because I still believe this is at the core of our company here. Coldwell Banker Distinctive Properties is a family of professionals dedicated to creating exceptional real estate experiences for our customers and communities through the passionate delivery of truly remarkable service. We pledge to promote a fun, fulfilling, and respectful environment, one that is open to change and innovation, providing personal growth opportunities for all. We pledge to deliver truly remarkable service. This quote actually came to me from one of our agents in Overland Park. So Tara, I love this. It's at the bottom of your signature in your email. And I agree with it. I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. That is Maya Angelou. So 3 things today that I'm going to cover is 1, what is full service? 2, why do we need it? And then 3, why should you trust what I am teaching you today? So first off, on a show of hands, who believes that they are already providing full service for their clients? You can put in the chat box, you can put it wherever, but if you truly believe before we even start this presentation that you are providing full service to your clients, I kind of want to see it before and after. Okay. So to me, full service is taking part in overseeing the entire transaction from start to finish. It's leading your clients through each step of the process. It's providing options and advice when it comes to decision making. It's supplying up-to-date data and tools. You have to educate your client with local insight and market knowledge. You definitely have to go that extra 2 miles for your client, and you have to provide them with peace of mind, and you have to make them feel confident. And then why do we need it? Times are changing. We keep talking about the market and it's shifting. It is definitely time to reinvent the traditional way of doing things and bringing back the human connection of a real estate transaction. It's important to bring this level of elevated customer service into a transaction, and this is going to set you apart from other agents. So we here at Coldwell Banker Distinctive Properties, as your partner, we're here to help you. We want to make sure that all of our clients have and feel that exceptional throughout the real estate transaction. For years, we've talked about the low-hanging fruit, bare minimum for marketing your listing. Now is the time to talk about the full service experience for your client when buying and selling a home. And then why should you trust what I'm teaching you? I have 20 plus years of experience in this industry. My point of view is from the client and supporting the agent. I've never been a real estate agent on the selling side. I've always been in a support role. So I get to see it truly as what the client is feeling. I do want to see you succeed and I want to support your business. And then I'm proud to be a part of Coldwell Banker Distinctive Properties. Todd and I go way back, and he is one of my best friends and my older brother here. And I want to make sure that we are doing a good job and we are making sure that this company really, truly is providing an exceptional experience. I'm not just behind the scenes support. I want to make sure that I'm providing you guys with knowledge and what are the steps that you can take to make sure that you're taking care of your client. I was just speaking with one of our agents here out by the coffee, and she's like, well, what is it that you're going to cover today? And I told her, I said, you know what, you're going to see that there are over 32 action items when you're dealing with a buyer. And her eyes got big and it was like, yeah, there is. There's a lot of different things that you need in order to make the transaction successful. And then tens of thousands of transactions have crossed my eyes and ears. So let's go on and get started. We found that what makes this difficult for buyers is finding the right property, the paperwork side of things, understanding the process and the steps. So what comes next? Explain it to me. Why do I need to do that? Saving for the down payment, getting a mortgage, and then the appraisal of the property. Full service is something that helps a buyer through each of these frustrations. As I'm going through this checklist, ask yourself, there's a page in your workbook that is a blank notebook for full service experience. Ask yourself, what am I doing out of these? So this is kind of the question before. Are you already providing yourself with your client with full service? Or ask yourself as we're going through these checkpoints to see if this is what you're doing for your client. Does your initial introduction include who is on your team? You have a team here. You have a marketing team. You have a transaction team. You have a support team in your AC and your MD. So you have a support team here at Coldwell Banker Distinctive Properties. Even if you're not on a team, we are your team. Are you providing buyer information 101 handouts? So what are the real local real estate activities? What does it look like in your market? The current market conditions. What is that expectation as an agent? And what is that expectation as a client? Are you having them sign a buyer agency agreement? You're really, truly explaining to these, sometimes you're going to be dealing with first-time home buyers, and sometimes you're going to be dealing with investment companies. You want to make sure that you are really setting that expectation of what you expect from them as a client and what you're going to provide as an agent. Are you recommending your buyer to lenders, insurance companies, et cetera? Are you providing that full service experience there? Are you staying informed yourself on the market trends and interest rates? Do you have it set up where you can schedule regular check-ins? Do you have a CRM in place? This is huge for our company. So are you adding your buyer to CBIQ CRM? And are you setting your buyer up on an automated property watch? Once that property hits the market, are they being notified of that on your behalf? Are you adding your buyer to the monthly newsletter, quarterly market report, and holiday campaigns? And then are you anticipating what your buyer may need? Are they going to need packing help, moving help, cleaning help? Are they going to need additional support after the close of their home? Are you previewing the properties for your buyer? So you're the expert. Are you going out there? Are you reaching out to a listing agent and getting the details on that home? Or are you just sending them a list and saying, these are the ones we're going to see tomorrow, and then meet me at 10 o'clock? And are you making your client feel informed, educated, and solidifying that he or she did choose the right best in the business? Once they are under contract, how are you congratulating them on being under contract? Is it a simple phone call? Is it an email? Is it a handwritten card? How are you letting them know that they are under contract and you are super excited to be their partner in this? Are you discussing a home warranty option for them? Are you creating a transaction timeline and explaining this to your client? What happens next? What is my next step in this process? And then are you providing them with clear and easy instructions on the delivery of earnest money? Where do they need to take it to? What is the form of payment? What receipts do they need to have? So are you letting them know every step of the way what's going on? Do you update them weekly on dates and deadlines? And do you include an action list for your buyer? Are you making sure to connect with their lender on a regular basis? So if they are needing maybe pay stubs or they're needing bank statements, are you following up with your client to make sure that they are meeting the dates and deadlines that you've set forth in that contract? Are you providing your buyer with 3 names of inspectors and explaining the home inspection process? Some of them are like, here's an inspection, give them a call, but are you explaining that process and what that's going to be when they get that inspection report back? And then are you providing your buyer with a list of utilities that will need to be set up and the contact information for those utility companies? Once you receive that title commitment, do you sit down with your buyer? Do you look for any red flags? Do you look over the commitment, or do you simply forward it on from the title company and just say, here's a copy of your commitment, look over it? Do you confirm with all parties of the closing date, certified funds, method of delivery? What are they going to need to what do they need to bring to closing? Do you schedule a final walkthrough? Make arrangements and key transfer. So many times when you get your home, where is my garage code? Where do I pick my mail up? You know, what else do I need for this specific area? Is it HOA that takes care of my lawn? So are you making sure that once they move into that home, they are set with everything that they need to know? Not only that, are you reminding your buyer to be on the lookout for the closing disclosure? This has to be provided to them 72 hours prior to closing. So you want to make sure that they have time to look that over. And then are you also reviewing the settlement statement with your buyer so they know how much cash that they're going to have to bring to closing? They know where to bring it to, making sure that the purchase price is right. Their earnest money has been credited correctly. On the flip side of it, we see a lot of errors still that come through on settlement statements. And we want to make sure that as an agent, you're going over those with your clients. Are you reminding your buyer to start utilities on the day of closing? So some of these don't even think about, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to get my cable set up, my trash set up. So just have a list together and remind your buyer what utilities are going to be set. This one is simple. It's providing your buyer with a mail forwarding website link. Get your mail forwarded and the start date of it. And then are you prepared with a closing gift? Do you have a system in place to request a testimony 24 hours after closing? Chuck even spoke on this. This was number 12. Ask for a review. So are you asking for that review right after closing, right after they're at that peak moment of turning the keys as they're walking into their new home? They get a request from you of how that was for them. Do you send out a handwritten congratulations card? And are you sending out a just sold buyer representation postcard? Are you adding them to a client for life campaign? And last but not least, are you making sure your client felt informed, educated, and confident that he or she did choose the best in the business? So I hope you've been able to take a couple of the notes on the buyer side of the transaction. There are over 32 action items that I just talked about. Ask yourself, how many of these am I doing? Am I doing just all of them? Am I doing some of them? Am I truly providing exceptional service for my buyer? When we move on to any questions so far, make sure you guys please put in the chat, because after this, we are going to have a Q&A, and this is going to be our next breakout session. So I just want to remind you of that as well. What makes this process difficult for sellers? So again, it's pricing the home. It's getting the home ready to sell. It's understanding the process and the steps. It's maintaining a show-ready home, it's inspection items, and it's appraisal of the property. So full service is something that helps a seller through each of these frustrations. When you have that home ready to list, it's pre-seller to contract. Does your initial contact again determine who is on your needs? Are you determining their wants and needs and their timeline? Are they selling now? Are they selling in the spring? When are they going to be selling their home? Is your listing presentation up to date? Does it have a current headshot? Does it have all the classes and your certifications that you have? Set a reminder every year annually to update your listing presentation. You know, the next year that rolls around, you've been in business another year longer. You might have been certified that year in something, you know, a different certification. So make sure you're adding those to your listing presentation. Is it a current headshot or is it one that you've used from 10 years ago? You schedule an appointment with your seller to preview the property. Make sure you're walking through that property and you're determining things that, you know, you might want to declutter. You might want to pack a few things up. So make sure that you are setting an appointment with your seller to preview the property. And then discussing the list price and the marketing plan. Again, with today's markets, you want to make sure that you're explaining the selling process. You want to market the conditions, your pricing strategy, and what are those client and agent expectations. It's always good to discuss a home warranty option with your seller. You want to discuss staging, decluttering, and best practices prior to the professional photography. And then you want to utilize the best photos to highlight your seller's home. Take time when you order that CV package to review those photos. Don't just pick the top 10. Don't just pick something that looks great. You've been in that home, you know the home. Take your time when you're picking and you're going to market that home for you. Anticipate what your seller is going to need. Is it movers, packers, cleaning services? Where are they going after this? Can you possibly hook them up with a referring agent in another area? Are you representing them buying their next home here? So have the plan in action of what is their next plans after this. And then are you ordering a CV123 marketing package? If you're not, you're crazy. I started in marketing here and it is insane that if you're not ordering a marketing package on your CV123. Are you providing your updates with the marketing that you're doing? So you have the ability to provide them with a weekly update. Chuck also talked about it on List Track. It shows how many times that home has been viewed online. Carrie can provide marketing insight as to how the marketing is going with your CV123. Reach out to your support staff here and become, you know, foremost in front of your seller to let them know that you are what you are doing into marketing their home. HOA docs. So are you getting all of your HOA docs and associated docs prior to listing the home? Are you reminding sellers to check for transfer fees, working capital fees, or other hidden fees in the transfer of that property? And then again, are you setting an appointment to preview the marketing material? You can let your agent or your client know, you know, this is the Facebook post that just went out. These are the postcards that are going out. These are the flyers that I'm going to have on hand. Again, they hired you to be the professional. So make sure that you're including them in that and that you are the professional representing their home. Have you created showing expectations? Are there shoes off? What's the lock code? Is there an alarm? You know, what are the pets? So make sure that you've also, when do you want them to start showing the property? If it gets listed today and you get showings tonight, is that going to be okay with your clients? Or are they going to have to wait a couple days until they're, you know, if they're out of town this weekend? So make sure that you really kind of walk through all of those pre-necessary things that when it goes live, you're ready to show that home. Again, you want to educate your seller on what is next, what to expect for showings, how the notifications are sent, how does your showing time software work in your market? Are they going to receive a text message, a call, an email? So make sure that you're letting them know, you know, this is how it's going to be received in your area. And then are you scheduling out open houses for the following month? This was Chuck's #1 on his list was open houses. Make sure you are scheduling those out too. Don't just do one this Sunday. Schedule them out so that your seller knows, okay, I've got one every Sunday. They're going to do one on a Saturday. They're going to do a Friday. Make sure you're scheduling them out and then also make sure you're advertising those. Are you sending a congratulations on a new listing email? This would have the links to the MLS, the website, a copy of all of the marketing materials so that if there is something that you by chance missed, you can catch it right then, but your sellers also have a chance to see what you're doing on their behalf. And then again, provide a market piece to be left at the property. This is their story. This lets them say, you know, what are the upgrades that have been done? It puts a personal touch on that listing. You can add your seller to weekly automated CVIQ seller reports. And then are you making sure to provide the seller showing feedback after each showing? Once your seller is under contract, are you doing any of these things? All of these things or none of these things? Are you sending out an under contract congratulations communication? Are you, again, is this email? Is this a handwritten card? Is this a phone call? How are you communicating to your seller that they are under contract? Are you creating a transaction timeline and explaining what happens next? Have you introduced your seller to the title company and the closer? Closer is going to be working with them very closely. So you want to make sure that you've made that introduction and that they know who's going to be representing them at the closing table. Are you reminding your seller to provide loan payoff information for the title company? So there's a lot of little things that they have to reach out to that you can be a partner with in that transaction even more. Are you following up on the delivery of earnest money, and are you updating your seller? Have you created an automated weekly date and deadline email that includes action items for your seller? Do you review the title commitment as well? Are you confirming with all parties on the closing date, time, and particulars? And then again, remind your seller to review the seller settlement statement. Is there anything additional that they need to know when they're closing on that? Remind them what needs to be brought to the closing. Seller proceed, how are they going to receive their proceeds after closing, the bank info, and the timeline. So you just want to make sure that you're the expert in all of this. Reminding the seller to bring the keys, the remote, the mailbox number. How are those supplied? Where do they get them at? Is there anything that's quirky about the home? They might need to know where to turn off the main water supply. Anything that's going to help, just get that information beforehand. To remind them to discontinue utilities on the day of closing. And then provide them as well with the USPS mail forwarding website link. Are you prepared with your closing gift? Do you have a system in place to request a testimonial 24 hours after closing? Again, are you sending out a handwritten congratulations card? And are you sending out a just sold postcard? Are you adding them to a client for life campaign? And last but not least, are you making sure your client felt informed, educated, and confident that he chose the best in the business? So I truly believe the basics of full service. It's, you have to behave in a professional, polite, and respectful manner. This is with your clients and your partners in the industry at all times. In a lot of our markets, we live in small towns. So you want to make sure that you are really, truly just being who you are, but you're being professional as well. Dress to impress. Don't show up in leggings and a t-shirt and tennis shoes. Todd spoke about it this morning. He's really been trying to dress up these days, and he looked great. He dressed in a very professional manner, and you want to do that too. You want to dress to impress. That includes your vehicle. Make sure your vehicle is clean. Make sure it's free of, pet hair, kids' toys. Anything that, somebody would get in and be like, oh, I don't know, are they going to represent me or my property this way? You want to exceed your client's expectations in everything you do. Grow a local following to ensure lasting relationships. We talk about this as one of your lead sources. This is going to be your sphere of influence. This is going to be your past client list that you can get repeat business from in the future. So you want to also look at always maintaining this relationship as well as developing new relationships. And then put the client at the heart of the experience. This may be your first closing. This may be your 50th closing, but this might be that person's first home that they've bought. So you want to make sure that they're at the heart of it. You do this all day, every day. They don't. So make sure that you focus on them and let them know that what their needs are, you're going to take care of them. And examine every aspect of your service. You'll be known for your consistency and your ability to anticipate your client's needs. Be flexible with your client's needs and provide a thorough understanding of the home buying and selling process. It may be a month, it may be 3 months, it may be 4 months, but just always be there for them. And we talk about staying in contact with them and just making sure that they know they can call you as their trusted advisor. Provide your clients with a memorable real estate experience, well executed, thoughtful, and a high level of service by a dedicated and professional agent, which is you. And then always think, reinvent the traditional way of doing business. We work for a fearless leader, and he's always being innovative, and he's always wanting to see what can we do next to stay ahead of the curve. And introduce a new mindset of customer service by blending concepts outside the industry to elevate the level of service that no one thought possible. You can always think of different ways to service your client and provide exceptional service, and make sure you do. Make sure you stand above the rest. I also just want to restate that the heart and mindset of what our mission statement at Coldwell Banker Distinctive Properties is. We are looking to create an exceptional real estate experience for our clients. This is a level 12, five-star rated experience that truly knocks the socks off of your client. Being focused on ensuring that we get 5-star reviews, testimonials, and referral business like you've never seen before. You can be the leader changing the way the industry works, and you get one shot at excellence. I want to say thank you again for the opportunity to present what we truly are passionate about, and that's creating an extraordinary real estate experience. We believe it's one closing at a time for you, your partner, or you are our partner and your client.